Oh, misandry. Yeah. So it's a big thing right now. So we talked about this on A the Table. Just where remember the 4B movement? I think it's
Oh
4B I
yeah, that
called
you
it.
had mentioned, yeah.
And women are just like and you know what? Perhaps it is on my algorithm.
Like that is curated for her.
Well, I mean, there's two women that I follow. So, but I don't get other people. It's like these two women that I follow and they come on my shit or whatever. And I actually like them because they give a lot of good advice that I think that is actually good for men and women in a relationship. They talk about like the mental load, like sharing responsibilities as a man, like don't help out at home, like do the shit. You know what I mean? So it's that. So I won't even say that it's curated for any particular like ideology. But anyway, um there are a lot of women these days that are just like I'm divorced or my husband is dead, I'm not remarrying. Um I'm not taking care of any another child or a person or a human being because I don't want to call a person a child, but I don't want to take care of a human being that I would have to look after as a child. Um, or even women who are unmarried, um, no children. They're just like, I've seen what my friends are going through. I seen what my mom, my grandma is going through. I don't want that, and they are just opting out regardless of what societal pressures are, regardless of what maybe regardless of them actually wanting a husband and a family. They're like, I'm not giving up my mental capacity and stability and everything else that goes along with it just so that I can have a husband and a child.
I completely understand that because I mean, where you were going with it at first, like men are tired of women that say, "I don't need a man," blah blah blah, and I'm like, I'm so far removed from
It's
that.
not that though.
Like, I'm so
Yeah.
far removed from that narrative that like I don't need a man and I could do blah 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 because it's so like
It's toxic.
it's toxic and it's like, what does that do for us as a people? Like,
Nothing.
it doesn't do anything. Like,
Well, I think it highlights the truth. If that is the truth for a lot of people, I think it highlights their truth. But I think as like a general matter, perhaps it doesn't do much for us like living together as a unit.
but I also don't think that people really understand like how much their words mean things,
What you mean?
right? So like you're saying these things, and I know that women very frequently say these things just because it's like something to say, like it's a kind of like a movement.
You think so?
Yeah, I definitely there's a large amount of women that
Interesting.
say things like that. Like, I don't need a man. I could do this on my own. I'm independent and blah blah blah. Like,
Have you heard?
of course I have.
Not on social media, but like literally in your circle, you've
No,
heard this?
well, not in my circle, but like people my age.
But like people in person, in your face, you've heard people say this.
Yeah,
Oh,
I feel like this day and age being independent has like women very upstrung. Like, they don't, oh, if I could do this without a man, what do I need a man for? And I feel
Do
like
you do
I
you
was
find something wrong with them saying that?
at first I didn't because I was actually on that as well. I was. But it's just like when you think about what you want your actual future to be, like what good does it do to talk like that? Or to like you manifest what you talk about. And I feel like people don't
True.
understand how like heavy their words are, or like the truth that they bring to their life when they say things like that.
Well, but okay, and I'm only going to counter that by saying that what if that is in fact your reality? Meaning there's no man that you've had a significant relationship with that brings any sort of like benefit to your life.
Well, I don't want to say that that means you don't need a man, or I just think that whatever choices you've made, maybe you need to.
So it's the woman's fault.
It's not. I'm not saying fault, but I'm saying maybe whatever you chose just did not do any
No, no.
good for you.
And
Not to say that
fair
anything
enough.
in the future could be different.
Fair enough, but that's not actually what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that, like, if you've had situations that have not been favorable to you, and you have found from those situations, like as life lessons, you have found that you can in fact pay all of your bills. You can in fact um save enough for your future and your future care and your savings or whatever. You can, in fact, maintain your home and pay a mortgage and this, that, and the other. Life has actually shown you that you can live and move um, in a way that doesn't require um, a man to be there, right? Because you can cut the grass, you can take out the trash, like all these things that are typically like men things. Life has literally shown you, and experience has shown you, that you can do it on your own. So if you say, well, I don't need a man, but I want a man,
Man.
and those are two very different things. That's why I was asking like what it was you've like heard and seen, because I can tell you right now, I don't need a man. But the thing is that, like, as a companion, that is what I want. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want somebody to like be there that I can talk to. I'm not trying to kiki with my homie. You want to come lay in my house, in my bed with me?
Me?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's exactly what I'm saying. So I think that a lot of times, I don't know if women saying that is necessarily a a uh trauma response or
And
a
I think that that's definitely my point, that it's a trauma response because they've probably had one too many
that's the thing. I don't think that's
bad
what it is.
I think that that's what it is. They've
Mhm.
probably had one too many bad situations, and it's just like fuck men.
I
I
get it.
don't I don't need any man for anything,
It
or
does seem
blah blah.
like that. I
Yeah.
agree. It does seem like that. And I can't discredit that position at all. But I also think that as women, like as we stop, remember I told you a picture of my auntie, and I was like, this is my auntie and my uncle.
Hmm.
She was like in her teens when she got married. Teens. Not 19 and not 18. That I know for sure. And my uncle was definitely in his 20s. 100%. That I know. Um, I think that we have gotten so far away from like that being the situation, where life has actually, in fact, shown us that we do not need somebody else. Life has shown us that we came in this bitch alone. And at this point in 2025, we can absolutely leave alone. We're not necessarily beholden, or we don't require a man to like exist in the world. Like, because we have access to money. We have access to education. We have access to all the securities that a person would need. You know what I mean? Um so while I actually 100% agree with your perspective, I think that it's kind of at this point it's kind of like a life lesson. It's not trauma or like so many bad situations. I literally think like we've seen, like our friends are getting married at 30. At 30, if you don't know how to do this shit on your own, you got a whole nother pack of bullshit to be dealing with. You shouldn't even be worried about getting married. You know what I mean? Like, you should be worried about building your life skills.
That's
You
true.
know, I just don't think at this age, I just don't think it's a trauma thing. Maybe 40 years ago, I think it's a little bit more reasonable for it to be a trauma response. But now, it's hard for me to say that that is a woman's response to, you know, that being her position. I just don't think it's a response. I don't think it's a response to trauma. I just think it's like, it's kind of how life has gone. It's just how we've had to deal with
Do you think like men maybe are having a hard time reconciling with that? Maybe
100%.
because
100%.
um I think because if you don't need me, then what is my position? And I think like the way it's phrased, right? Where when women are saying I don't need a man, but ultimately this is the problem in the message landing. Yes, we still need companionship. We're
Absolutely.
human beings. People need people. If we know that people who aren't in relationships and that don't have community, their rates in terms of diseases across the
Yeah.
boards are much higher. Death is much higher.
Yeah.
Like we know that, right? So we know that we need companionship. And I think the way we're phrasing it and the way it's landing for them is not it's not processing.
The way that we're putting it out is
Yeah.
not the way that is being is not
Yeah.
consumed in the
It
same
should be
way.
better that
Thank you.
hey, like I
Thank
don't
you.
need you.
I literally want
like I'm not a
you.
parasite upon
Thank
you.
you.
Like I
Yeah.
choose you because
we've
like
talked
yeah,
about this.
Yeah, we definitely have.
but it's not landing because it's like what do you mean you don't need me?
I have a question. We've talked about this. And I know you and I were on the same page when it comes to like needing and wanting. Why is it that you think that what women are saying as far as like we don't need you but we want you does not translate to men as understanding that someone wants you. So they're here because they want you.
I think historically men have a very role where it's like I'm here to make your life better. My role in your life is to fix any issues so that you are better because I am here. Do you see what I'm saying? And if I
That's
don't
women, but that's what women do.
they do, women do
No,
that, but
it's
they
like
do it in a
men-
different way.
Men are
But is it-
raised to be providers, right? So it's
no,
like
no. This is I'm sorry, I have to interject right here because in even in the traditional relationships, the women are providing everything. The men simply provide a paycheck. The women are providing for the children. They're providing food and nourishment. So the breast milk, the seeing after them, diapers, everything. They're cooking meals for the other kids, for the husband. They're literally providing everything. The only thing the man is bringing in is his financial resources. The woman is providing literally everything in the home. So it's hard. Again, when words have meanings. It's really hard for me to understand how provide has gone the route that it has gone, because when it comes to who's really doing the provision, it's really the woman. Think how many things. Let's just say the man brings a check, right? And that's typically what we're looking for. We're saying the man, he brings his resources, right? And the woman brings everything else. I want you to name 10 things under everything else. Name them. It should be enumerated. It should be enumerated so that people can understand what I'm saying. Because you're bringing, so you go as a man, you go and exchange your time for money, right? Right?
right.
And you bring, so it's a 1-to-1. You bring that money home. That's one thing. And you only there for 8. Matter of fact, we'll say 12 hours. We'll say 12 hours. We'll give you 4 hours on top of the regular 8 hours, right? So you go and exchange your time for money. You bring that home. What else is a woman doing? You're providing food for the children that need breast milk. You're cooking food for you. First of all, you're going to get the food from the grocery store, and you're cooking and you're planning for everybody else in the house that needs to eat food. You're cleaning the house. You're making sure that we have toilet paper, we have paper towels, we have dish soap, we have body soap, we have dog food, we have fuck everything. Literally every fucking thing. The woman is providing all of that. But we look at the men as being providers. Like, that don't seem off.
You know, I think what that comes from, if you look at it in mechanics, because the world has changed, but I think previously, if you look at it from a mechanical standpoint, the man would go out into the world,
Yes.
right, and deal with the mechanics of that, whatever that involves, right?
Yes.
And that's a lot, right? And the
Not
woman,
downplaying it
no,
one
no,
bit.
no, no, absolutely. Like that's an outside mechanic. The woman
Mhm.
would deal with the mechanics of in the home,
Right.
right? So all the pieces to the puzzle of what's happening in that home is like the woman and handling that. All the outside. And the thing is, both are probably dealing with different burdens and challenges.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. But the world has changed.
And I've said this before, and I've told you this, Alan. Like, I agree. We do have to give men a level of what's the word? Grace.
Oh.
And I've said this a million times.
I'm like, respect.
And I know you and I know y'all have heard me say this a lot, but like we do have to, because the world is changing very rapidly. But I also don't want to give men so much grace that they don't feel a need to adhere to what the world currently is, you know, because that's all they doing is being white men and upholding like supremacy, right? Because like think about it, just 60 years ago, we know what the United, I ain't gonna say the world, we knew what the United States was, and people didn't want to change, just like men today don't want to change with respect to their relationship with women. But a change had to be made and people had to start having a different mindset. So it's like, while I believe men absolutely deserve grace, at what point are we done with that? You know, or we could just keep dealing with the same bullshit that black people deal with today in the United States when it comes to white supremacy. You know, we don't really have a what's the word? A schematic to follow, because white supremacy has never left the country. Patriarchy has never left the country. So we don't really know.
Jesus, to be a black woman.
Right. I mean, it's the truth. And you know what? And in this very moment, and I don't want this misconstrued. In this country, to be a woman, period. No, and I'm only saying that in this moment, because to be a woman, period, there's a level of like otherness. There's a level of like second class citizenship, so on and so forth. And we're not even talking about being of color. When you put of color, like it's a whole nother, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Oof.
But just in this country, you just it is what it is, you know. And I think for us to not, what's the word? Identify and accept it, we would be doing like women as a general matter. We'd be doing women harm. So that's why I say I wanted it framed that way. Because, you know, even though we have women that uphold white supremacy every single day, you know, Karens, we already know, like, and ironically, they're the ones, their men are putting the thumb on them. What they really don't realize, the thumb is on them. We're just a casualty. You know what I mean? Yeah. I women, y'all got to do better. That's all I got to say on that. I guess because I actually feel like so strongly about it that I don't want to say too much.
Well, I hope in this segment that we can have more conversations like this and we can.
And understand both sides, because men need grace, but women also need understanding
I'm like
from
a
men.
huge believer that men need grace. I don't want to portray myself as a men advocate. I feel like sometimes that's how I come off sometimes with
No,
like
but I've said that a million times, that the way the world is moving at the pace that it is, men do need grace. But like, at what point does the grace not endorse bullshit? You know what I mean?
I feel like people just need to understand empathy.
Yeah. Exactly.
This
I
is the
agree.
biggest problem that like we face. Like take men, women out of it. Like you
Make it a people
yeah,
thing.
just make it a people thing.
You're
Like
right.
the,
I
the
agree.
the thing is, if it's not happening to me, it's an abstract concept. Like I can't really grasp it.
Yeah.
Like I don't have to go through something to have empathy for someone else.
I totally agree with that. I feel like we should come up with like a lot more topics, women like geared towards women, so that I don't know. I feel like we can feel good about ourselves. So we give like tips.
Like
on,
what?
like-
What do you mean?
I feel like this specific, yeah, and I feel like this specific relationship topic,
I know what you mean.
yeah.
Let me.
Like-
Can I give an example?
Okay, go ahead.
So, if you're at home and like you've told your partner or spouse, whatever, like, hey, because real talk, like your spouse should be helping out at the house. Like, nigga, you live here too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that we should have more conversations about like how time is occupied by doing certain things, right? So let's say your husband goes out 12 hours a day for work. Let's say you also go out 12 hours a day for work. But when you come home, you are cooking, you're cleaning, you're feeding the dog, you're opening mail to, for the house bills, you're determining, are you doing a mental inventory of what else we need? Do we need more Doritos? Do we need more Scotch bonnet peppers? Do we need more tuna? Whatever it is at your house. So like that's another 3-4 hours on your day. So it's like when you understand how much everybody's time is encumbered and how much in the value of that time, I think that's the only way to have both parties understand what's really going on as far as appreciating, everybody's role in the house.
I agree.